We all know our defense was bad. We all know our defensive line was absolutely horrible. We couldn't stop the run. We couldn't stop the pass. Patrick Mahomes literally torched our defense in a matter of 3 minutes. So let's go get this defensive player who was a free agent, who played in the Super Bowl, who had a breakout season. Yes, his name is Arik Armstead, and the Houston Texans definitely need to sign him. Cue the intro.
The city of the dream team, Hakeem, Turing, Beyonce, yeah, me. And I remember hot summer, hot winter. I couldn't fight, so the block made a hot spill.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the 713 Houston Sportcast. I'm your host, Ruben Calvillo. And yes, the Texans really need to sign Armstead, and I don't mind spending all my money on him. And here's why I say that. He is fantastic against the run. Towards the end of the season, the Houston Texans had struggles against the run. But I'm not really worried about the run. I'm worried about the pass. And Patrick Mahomes, like I said, he broke a record. 7 straight offensive touchdowns. We didn't get no pressure on him. And adding Armstead, who had 10 sacks on the season, pretty much helps his defense wholeheartedly. He had a Pro Football Focus grade of an 89, which is very hard to do as a defensive player. He's fantastic against the run. He's fantastic against the pass. He's so disruptive. You have to game plan for Armstead, and it's gonna open up this defense if we get him right, because JJ Watt can win the one-on-one battle. So can Merciless. Adding somebody like Armstead, it's gonna give the offensive coordinator from the other team trouble and nightmares, because they're not gonna know who to guard. And when you bring in somebody like Anthony Weaver, who's going to be the defensive coordinator, who comes from that Rex Ryan system. If you guys remember the Jets football, their main thing was getting after the quarterback. And adding somebody like Armstead, who is known for getting after the quarterback, it is going to put terror in the eyes of QBs. And I am super excited for what we could do with Armstead. And Armstead doesn't really help this not only does he help this defensive line, but he helps the secondary. For those of you who know anything about football, you know that when you have a fantastic defensive line, your secondary improves. It's very hard for your secondary to cover for 3 to 4 to 5 seconds. And adding Armstead, who could get after the quarterback, it is going to help you wholeheartedly. This secondary played pretty good. They also played pretty bad. They played pretty bad when they did not have a pass rush. Imagine adding a pass rush. Imagine having Armstead on one side with JJ Watt and Merciless and Jacob Martin and DJ Reader. They're not going to know who to guard. It's going to give, the head coach of the opposing team problems, and I am all for it. Armstead, he's going to come on this team. He's going to make the defense line better. And not only that, he's going to help the offensive line as well, because they're going to be going at it in practice. And, he's going to go against Tunsil, against Sharping, against Howard and Martin. It's going to make them better as well, because he is a force. He is an absolute stud, and he changes this game. And a lot of people are thinking that if the Houston Texans get a pass rush, then they can make the Super Bowl. I know you have your feelings about BILLOBRIEN, but a defense really helps. And adding him and adding somebody else like maybe a Mario Addison can really much solidify this defensive line. And it's only up to BILLOBRIEN. BILLOBRIEN has been aggressive. He knows what the problem is. For example, he knew our offensive line was absolute garbage. So what does he do? He brings in Laremy Tunsil. He saw that Lamar Miller tore his ACL. So who does he bring in? He brings in Lamar Miller. He knows that Will Fuller cannot stay healthy to save his life. So who does he bring in? Kenny Stills. And I think he's going to look at Arik Armstead and say, man, this is somebody who could come on this team and help, because potentially this could be Armstead's defense. Because JJ Watt, as much as I love him, he's on the way out. He's up there in age. Have JJ Watt teach Armstead, teach him how to be a pro, teach him how to be a leader, teach him how to be a captain, and watch him flourish. And like I said, I do not mind spending a big portion of my money on Armstead. He is the one player who I've loved since the beginning. A lot of people are going to be after him. I know for a fact that the San Francisco 49ers cannot afford him. We have a lot of cap space. I know some of it's going to Watson, some of it's going to Tunsil, but some of it should also go to Arik Armstead. And like I said, it's only up to BILLOBRIEN. But let me know what you guys think, guys. Should we sign Arik Armstead, or should we just leave him be and gain other players? I certainly think we could go for him. He had 10 sacks on the season. He could get much more here. I'm super excited for the possibility of sending Arik Armstead. As always, guys, go Texans. You guys have a blessed day.